They actually, because what is very important is the customers that you will be serving. Those are the most important. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm just going to do a quick review of that lesson that we did. So do you have anyone, does anyone have any questions from that? Does anyone have any questions from what you discussed what you found out probably when you went home and you discussed, you look back at this? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to discuss. I'm just going to do a quick review of Unit 3, and I'm also going to continue to Unit 4, which is our unit for this. We were supposed to do that yesterday. Just waiting for my screen to load. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is what we looked at. We looked at the first principle that we discussed was you are worthy to succeed. That's when I showed you a picture of those 9 babies. And I asked a question, which one of those babies do you deserves to be loved? And from our discussion, we discovered that they all deserve to be loved. And that's how we come here into the earth. We come as babies and we are all the same. So what we do with our lives as we grow depends on us as an individual, on how we want to be successful, how we want to succeed in life. So the next thing we talked about is we need to know ourselves. And by knowing ourselves, we'll be talking about what are you good at? Okay, what are you good at? What are your skills and your talents? And from those skills and talents, you also need to identify what you can sell. That's the third principle we discussed, which is know what sells. So some of the skills and talents you might have, they might not be able to actually give us money, or we cannot actually sell them. So we need to then look at those skills and talents and identify which ones we can actually sell. And once we identify that skill that we feel that it can actually give us money, we need to think of who is already doing that. So if we know someone who is doing that same thing that we want to do, that person becomes our competition. So our competition is very important in the sense that they offer us knowledge and information on something that we maybe want to do because they are already doing something like that. And I gave an example of saying, you want to start a bread business. If you want to start a bread business, you need to know who is already selling bread. That person who is selling bread becomes your competition. And he can tell you what is involved. And as you learn from that person, you need to know his weaknesses or her weaknesses. And we also need to understand her strength. So for your business to be unique and to be better than that person, you need to do things different from what the competition is doing. So if you do the same thing with what your competition is doing, you are bound to get the same results. So what you need to do is you need to identify something you will do different. And that thing that you do different sets you apart from your competition. And we also mentioned that what is very, very important in business is to know and value your customers, because every business is all about customers. And I showed you these pictures of, this is Dean Curtis. He is the founder of Interweave Solution. So he was telling us with the importance of having 3 different accounts that we put our monies. So we don't need to put all the money that we make in just one account. So we need to have a savings account. We also need to have a personal account, and you need to have a business account. And you don't need to mix those 3. Because once we mix those 3, there is a danger that we might end up stealing from our business. Okay, so also mention that you are going to choose a product or service that you would want to do as part of this training. Those who are already doing businesses, that's fine. You already have your product or service. So I just want us to just want each and every one of us just a 30 seconds answer. I just want you to tell us what is your product or your service, and I need to tell us, just give us 2 reasons why you chose that business. So I just wanted to discuss those 2 things. Tell us your product or service and why you chose that product or service. So I'm going to ask each and every one of us to share this. Just tell us what is your product or service, and just tell us why you chose that product or service. Okay, so if you have got any problems with actually explaining that, then I can also assist you on some of the issues that you need to, what are some of the things that you need to do for you to be able to select your product or service. So I will start with Winfred. Winfred?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, can you tell us the product or service that you have chosen, and tell us why you have chosen that product or service? Just give us 2 reasons.
Okay, so my product is soap, like all forms of soap. We have the detergent, toilet, all forms of soap. And I chose that because one, I have that skill, like that's my, I say, I've specialized in that field. And 2, I think soap is an everyday thing. It's always it's a necessity. It's always needed. We use soap each and every day. So these are the reasons I choose soap.
Thank you so much, Winfred. So you have chosen soap, and you have discovered that you've chosen soap because it's a necessity. So if you look at a product, like, people will always want to use soap. So if you choose a product like that, it's a sustainable product that you can actually sell for a long period of time. So you need to have such kind of a product. There are certain products that are seasonal, like in my country, we sell like cold stuff. Sometimes they are not that marketable, especially in winter, because people in winter, they don't actually use those things like blankets and jerseys and sweaters. You find that they might not be as highly marketable in winter as they in summer as they are in winter. So you need to understand the kind of products. I'll also discuss some of other things that you can do if you discover that your product is a seasonal kind of a product. Prosper, can you share with us your product or service and tell us why you chose that product or service?
Okay. I deal in IT products.
Yes.
I train as an IT person, and during my services, I think that people will need some of the IT products, especially computer and accessories. So it makes me, anytime I'm going to work for a customer, I need to get some of these gadgets along. So that actually made me enter into the IT accessories.
So much, Prosper. So you'd find that IT, I think that's like the world, the way it is moving, it's turning into IT, into information technology. Like we are using Zoom right now, which is actually another form of an information technology that is available to us. We have got gadgets like phones, we've got gadgets like laptops and computers. They all actually use that. I just finished an IT support course that I was doing. So that's something that I've also discovered that, in the world today, it's something that is very, very, very important that you need to have. You're moving with the time. You're moving with actually the technology that is going on. Okay, thank you so much, Prosper, for that. And Japhet?
Okay, thank you. My product, not yet in sale. I'm just planning it.
Okay.
I'm doing research on it. Because you asked us to look for products, I decided to discover one.
Sure.
And I'm planning to roll it out and start selling. But the name I'm planning giving to it is called Tyco Drink. This is because we are on a university campus. Most often, students go for lectures, and sometimes students prefer leave their home hostels and get to campus. During the day, they need something to in the form of energy to continue. Now, you go to the market, there are a lot of drinks, but some of these drinks are carbonated and contain caffeine elements that are not good for students, especially those who have ulcer, and not even good to be taken on an empty stomach. And so I was thinking, what could be the supplement? So we decided to get something in the form of a tiger and then coconut mixture to make a drink that can sell out to students. It will be free. Ulcer patients will be able to take, diabetic patients will be able to take. Why? Because we are trying to use date fruit as a sweetener instead of sugar. So that's what I'm looking at, and I'm doing it with quite some colleagues that we are researching on it too. The only challenge we have about it for now is the sustainability and how to get. We are looking for a chemical that can, because of the coconut, when you put it for some time, it tries to solidify and separate. We want to get a preservative that can deal with that for us. I got some article the day before yesterday that there's a certain chemical I'm told if we add, would be able to deal with that. So that is why I chose to go for this. And the reason simply, like I said, to just be a substitute for the caffeine or carbonated drinks that may be not good for ulcer patients and other students to be taken on empty stomach. So that's the product we are planning to enroll. And the target is the university student or students on campus.
Thank you so much, Japhet. So I'm glad that you've got something that you have actually planned on, and you've actually done some kind of research on the product that you want to do. So from what you are saying, it actually sounds like you've already done some research on the product that you want to offer, and you've got a market for that product. And that's very important in business, that you, before you even consider any of those kind of stuff, you need to understand with your market, who's going to buy your product or your service. So without your market, then you cannot have a business at all. Thank you. And Anthony, can you share with us the product that you or service that you have chosen, and just give us 2 reasons why you decided to choose that product or service? Is Anthony with us? Oh, Anthony is gone. Okay, Jennifer, I just noticed that you just came in just now. So we're just discussing on the assignment I gave you on Tuesday, which was one of the assignment was for you to go and choose a product or service that you would want to offer. If you're already doing business, you just share with us the service or product that you are offering, and just give us 2 reasons why you have chosen that product or service that you are offering.
Thank you very much. So I'm into a bag business, and we offer school bags, lunch bags, traveling bags, ladies' side bags and handbags, and men's side bags. So I ventured into that business because of I ventured into that business because of the love I have for bags. And again, I'm into this business because I feel people really don't take into consideration the bags they hold anytime they are going out, especially with kids. You know, in this part of our country where most parents do not take critical look at their children when they are going to school. So I decided to, ventured into bags, but I'm more into the school bags because I always like it when children are going to school and they look good. That is all.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So do you make the bags or you buy and resell?
I buy from wholesalers and I sell.
Okay, that's wonderful. So that's another good way of actually doing business. If you identify your market, like you've mentioned that your target market or your target audience is the children. So you want to offer the children those kind of bags. So that's how you can start a business. You identify a problem and you then offer the solution to that problem that you have identified. So that's how best you can actually start a business. So thank you so much, each and everyone, for sharing with us your products, your service, and also the reasons why you decided to choose this. So it's not about just about doing something because other people are doing it. Actually, oftentimes this is a mistake we make because we realize that maybe someone is selling potatoes and everybody, it's like people are buying those potatoes and we all run into the same business. So that's usually called a tomato syndrome, that you all venture into one kind of a business. And if things don't go well in that business, you all move away, you run again to another kind of a business. So as a business person, you need to come up with a unique kind of business that is uniquely yours and that can actually sustain you and your family. So you don't have to worry about what other people are doing. You need to start your business because you have got passion for that and you are good at that. So this is unit 4, which is paperwork. So we are going to look at home budget. This is part of paperwork. Remember the 6 P's that we talked about. And one of those P's is paperwork. And we are going to look at home budget. So the budget at home, we're going to discuss that today. So one of the most important things in business you need to learn is to separate business and personal money. So you don't need to put all the monies in one safe, or you need to make sure that your personal money and your business money are in a separate place. And you need to pay yourself a salary or a commission. So this is one of the mistakes that we make in business, because our business will give us some income and we don't pay ourselves. But when we need money, we just decide to take the money from the business. That is very wrong if you are running a business that way, because what will then happen is that the business will not survive. But if you say that I pay myself $100 a month, and that's the salary that you are going to pay yourself, or it's a commission, you tell yourself that I'm going to pay myself 10% of the profits that I'm going to make this month. So you stick to that. And that way, even if you get any challenges, you're going to look for the money somewhere. You're not going to burden your business. I'll give you an example. If you're working for a company, for a large company, and they tell you that we pay you $500 a month, and if you get that $500 a month, if you finish that money, you cannot go back to your employer and say, I need more money. So the same way you cannot go back to your employer is the same way you should not go back to your business and ask for more money. If you pay yourself 300, and that's the money you should budget from that 300 for the whole month, because that's what you have. So there's actually a statement that one of our finance minister used to like. He used to say that we eat what we kill. So if you kill a rat, you eat a rat. You don't kill a rat and eat an elephant. So that's the challenge we sometimes have in business. We make very little money, but we want to eat a lot of money. That will not help the business to survive. So we should always eat what we kill. If we don't kill that month, then that means we are not going to get anything because we didn't make anything. So the money that we should get, it should come from the income that we get from the business. If the business did not make any money, then that means we are going to find other ways to fund ourselves. We are not going to sell any products from the business. So the next principle is don't steal from your business. We are going to discuss how we sometimes steal from our business. And we're also going to discuss the importance of saving regularly. And the last principle we're going to look at is make and follow a personal budget. So you need to make and follow a personal budget. So there is a story here that I want us to look at. Okay. Who would want to share with us this, to read this story for us? Can you see the story?
Oh.
Jennifer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll volunteer and read. So Aesop, the ancient Greek author of tables, told a story of the goose and the golden egg. One day, a poor farmer found a glittering yellow egg in his goose nest. It was heavy like a stone. He was tempted to throw it away, thinking that someone had played a trick on him. But instead, he took it home and discovered that the egg was pure gold. The next day, he found another golden egg, and another the day after that. A golden egg showed up each day. He became rich from selling the golden eggs. Then he grew greedy. He wanted more than just one egg per day. So he killed the goose and cut it open to collect all of the eggs. The farmer discovered no more eggs inside the goose. He soon became a poor farmer again.
Thank you so much.
Discuss.
Okay, that's fine. You can stop there.
Okay.
So what do we learn from this fable? What do we learn from this fable that was shared by Aesop? What lessons did you learn as you read this, Jennifer?
Okay, so from what I read, it's about a farmer who had a goose, and this goose was laying egg, but here lies a case where the farmer became greedy along the point. So the moral lesson I learned here is, if you are a business owner and you are making profit, you should learn how to, live within your means. Try to put down paperwork. So let's say if you are getting this within a particular financial year, you know how to, draw your income and expenses and then live within your means. Because I think with this farm, I got to a point where he was greedy and then was increasing his standard of living. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Because if you are living within your means and you don't have a high standard of living, why should you rush to, kill this animal that brings you income or profits? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Anthony, your hand is up.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What I've learned from the story is that the farmer was impatient. So we have a lot of people who go into entrepreneurship, and the moment they go in, they want to enjoy 100% profit, which doesn't happen in business. So for business or to run a business, you need to be what? To have patience. And so that at least you have to give time to the business so that it will grow and you will enjoy the maximum profit. Not just at the starting, you want to enjoy maximum 100% profit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you realize that the business that you have, doesn't matter how small it was, that's your goals. You don't want to expect a lot from your goals. If it's laying one egg per day, then you should be content. You should be happy with that one egg until maybe it starts laying 2 or 3 eggs. You don't need to be greedy and say that my business is not making enough money, so I'm going to find something so that I can make more money quick. So most of the time, this is where we make a mistake. We want to make quick money. Can you give us an example of how we can actually be like this farmer in our business? Prosper.
Yeah. So the growth of a business is a daily activity.
Yes.
So as the farmer sees the goods every day, it lays egg. And is trying to use one day to harvest what is in the future. And if you do so, you may leave for your business in a jeopardy, i.e., people may take advantage of you, because if you are greedy, people will entice you with a lot of goodies, which is never real. So it's a daily activity. As you feed the business also gives you profit.
Thank you so much. So you realize most of the people who have actually been successful in business, they have moved from humble beginnings and their business grows and grows. And oftentimes those people who start by getting a lot of money at once, they run a risk of losing their business or the business crumbling down because they have not learned the concept, the business concept that will help them sustain their business. So when you're running a business, it's very advisable to start small and then you grow as you go, because you learn as you go. Okay, so the best way to learn is by example. So most of the time you realize that experience is the best teacher in life. So I can tell you a lot about business. I can tell you about how you do this, but as long as you don't have an experience, you don't start something and you do it, you realize that that knowledge is not good enough. You really need to go out and start something and learn either from your mistakes or learn from the experiences that you gain as you grow. So you don't grow just big at once by accident. No, that doesn't happen. There's no such thing as miracle monies and stuff like that. Those things are only, maybe you may only see them in movies, but in real life, you work until you become successful. You cannot just become successful without hard work. So we learn the principle or the importance of working hard so that we can be successful. Okay, so it says here, many micro business owners do not know what that business and personal money should be separated. When their children need money for their lunch, when electricity bills in the home need to be paid, or when other personal expenses occur, the business owner might use money from their business to pay for these personal expenses. Business owners need to avoid this. This behavior kills their business. So in this case, we've got a story here of Mateo and Maria. So I want one of you to be Mateo. Anthony, if you can be Mateo, and then Jennifer, if you can be Maria for us. And Mateo, Anthony will read the part of Mateo, then Maria will read, Jennifer will read the part of Maria. Okay, Anthony.
Sir, I didn't hear you well. Come again.
Okay. Do you see the picture on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you mind to read where it says Mateo? Then Jennifer will read where it says Maria.
Okay, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Maria, look at all the eggs. Your business is doing well.
Yes. All the hard work is starting to pay off.
I finally found an apartment for my family, but it costs $1,000 to move in. I don't quite have enough money right now. Will you help me?
I want to help Matthew, but I would have to butcher and sell my chickens. What should Maria do?
You've heard the story here that there is Mateo and Maria. I'm sure these could be brothers, this could be siblings, a brother and a sister. So Maria is into business, selling eggs. So she have got chickens that lay eggs. And what happened is Mateo went to her and actually said that her business was doing very well. And Maria actually agreed that her hard work was paying off. But the situation now is Mateo found an apartment that he wanted to move in with his family, but the apartment cost 1,000 to move in and didn't quite have enough money to do that. Then Maria, she said that if she actually gave Mateo 1,000, if she wants to give Mateo 1,000, she would have to butcher all the chickens and sell them and then give the money to Mateo. So the question is, what should Maria do? What do you think Maria should do in this case? What do you think Maria should do in this case?
Please, I want to ask another question.
Sorry?
Is Matthew going to pay back Maria?
I don't know now. Maybe she will pay him, she will pay her back, but we don't know when, because from the look of things, he doesn't have that money, and we don't know when he's going to raise that money. But it means that if Maria would actually agree to give Mateo, she's going to butcher all her birds and actually sell them, and she'll give him the money. So I'm saying that if this is your business, and the brother comes in, Jennifer, and he says that I found an apartment, and I'm supposed to move in with my family. Maybe he's staying in a very small apartment and found a big apartment, but he needs 1,000. But you know that if you have to give him the money, you're going to sell everything that you have in your business and give it to him, and you are going to be left with nothing. And you give to your brother. So the question is, what should you do in that case? Should you give him the money? Should you butcher and sell your chickens and give him? Or should you say no? What should you do? Or maybe you can
Personally, I'm not going to do that.
Why not? This is your brother.
No.
No.
Yes, I'm a brother.
You have to come and stay with me for some time so you also gather some money.
Okay, Anton, what did you say?
I'm saying
I
that
said I'm a brother. I'm a brother. I need the help, sister.
So Anton is saying he's the brother there, then he's in trouble. He needs help from the sister and Jennifer.
no. Come and stay with me for some time. Then you work and gather some money.
So Anton, there's the answer. You need to go and stay with your sister for some time until you raise the money, then you can move out. But let's say, Jennifer, okay, this apartment, this offer is only valid for maybe for just short period of time, maybe for a month. And after the month, the offer is no longer available. Then what? Still. You don't.
Because Maria is a sole proprietor. Because if he gives him the money, all the, for sole proprietorship, you for every profit is yours, for every loss is yours. So you can't, risk such a situation like this. I'm sorry, Matthew, you have to come and stay with me.
Anthony, you heard that. She's sorry, but you have to go and stay with Jennifer until we have raised the money for you to move out of the apartment. So this is something, I don't know if we explained this last time. You need to understand that you, Jennifer, and your business, you are two different entities. Even though you are the owner of the business, but you are an employee at your business. Let's say you are working for a hotel, Anthony. You're working in a hotel, and your sister comes in, and she says, I have a problem at home, and I need 1,000 to solve the problem. And you understand the problem, and you know the problem is actually genuine problem. Will you take the money from the hotel and give her?
No, sir.
Why not? Because your sister is in trouble. Does that mean you don't love your sister?
I do, but the business and myself, we are two different entities.
Yes.
So what goes inside the business is not what goes in me. So I can't use what goes inside the business to help a sister or a brother.
Yes, thank you so much. So the moment, if you look at that example for hotel, if you take the money from the hotel and help your relative, it doesn't matter how serious the problem is. You can be arrested, you can be thrown in jail for that. So it's the same, you should understand it from that same point of view in your business. That if you are running your business, you are an employee for your business. So the business has to pay you, and it can only pay you if you make money. If you don't make money, then the business will not be able to pay you. And you cannot take money from your business whenever you feel like it. Okay. So the business has to pay you for whatever work you do. It has to pay you for that. So you cannot just take money from a Prosper. What do you think? Prosper?
Hello?
Yes, what do you think about this situation with Maria?
Yeah, since she's a businesswoman,
Yes.
any money that goes out must come back with profit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you cannot just
so
take
anything
money.
apart from that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, anything apart from that, then it means it's charity. And it shouldn't come from the business money.
So you cannot use my business money for charity. Unless it is actually budgeted and planned for that. So that's one thing we need to understand. So this is why by doing this, by Maria taking the money and giving it to Mateo, she's killing the goose. Because once she kills the goose, then she has got nothing to continue the business with. So you all know how difficult it is to start a business. And you cannot live in a situation of always starting a business. Because a business takes time to grow. Once you start, you struggle. But as time goes on, you learn the principles and the business grows. So you don't need someone after 5 years and it takes all the money that you've struggled for the last 5 years and he takes all of it at once. And then you are at point zero again. You're starting again from zero. So that's the situation with Maria. We're going to look at how Maria actually solved this issue. Okay. So this is the situation. Okay. I'm going to have Maria and Mateo again read these sections. If Prosper, you can be Mateo this time, and Jennifer, you can continue to be Maria.
Matthew, if I butcher and sell my chickens, then I won't have eggs to sell. My business will go under and I won't be able to feed my family.
Yes, you can go ahead, Maria, also.
Okay. I do have 200 in my personal savings. I could give you. Would that help?
Yes, Mateo. Prosper.
Actually,
okay,
that
Anthony
would help
yes.
a lot. Actually,
Thanks
that would.
so.
Okay, Mateo, you can read that and you read the other part also.
Thank you so much, Maria.
And Maria?
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you a little.
Okay, so how did Maria resolve this issue? What did she do?
Please, the question again.
I said, how did Maria resolve the issue? What did she do to resolve the situation that was there?
Okay, so here Maria gave Matthew 200 in her personal savings.
Okay, so where did she take the money from?
Her personal savings.
Okay, so I want us to understand that she did not take the money from the business. Did you see that? She took the money from her personal savings. So if you are to help someone with any kind of monies, you need to use the money from your personal savings, not the money from your business. Okay, so the business money, you cannot take business money for whatever reasons, unless it's an investment to the same business or another business, because business money is only for business. And when you do personal savings, you can actually use those personal savings. One of my friends that I used to actually do facilitate these classes, he says that if you want, then you might have to take the money that your children are supposed to use. You take that money and give it to the person that you want to help. Then you find other ways to feed your family, because you cannot take money from your business and give it to someone else. And basically that's what we need to understand. We cannot use the money that is for business for personal things. So the next is a definition of what a salary is. And I want us to understand this, the difference between a salary and a commission. So a salary is a set amount you pay yourself each week or month. It is a fixed cost. And when I say a fixed cost, it's a cost that will always come out of your business. Whether the business makes profit or not, a fixed cost is something that comes out of your business. So if you take, for example, what are fixed costs, we've got monthly rentals that we are supposed to pay, and we've got monthly bills and all those kind of things. And the salary also is a fixed cost. If you're working for a company, you expect the money every month. You expect your salary from the company every month. Whether the company makes profit or it did not make profit that month, at the end of month, you want your salary paid. So it's a fixed cost. So if you're employing someone at your business, you need to understand that once you employ someone, you're paying him salary, and that salary is a fixed cost. Whether business makes profit or not, you are supposed to pay that person a salary. But a commission is a percentage of your sales that can depend on how you've actually made some money that month. So if you did not make money on a month, you actually can say that I did not make money this month, so I cannot pay myself. So some people, they say that I'm going to pay myself a 10% of my profits. So meaning that if you make $100, you're going to pay yourself $10. But if you don't make any money, then you cannot pay yourself anything. So that's different between a salary and a commission. So we need to pay ourselves a salary or a commission from the income our business makes. So Maria helped Mateo with personal money she saved from the salary or the commission that she was making. So we can help others using money from our personal funds, salary or commission, but not from what the business earns. The business pays all its expenses, not your personal expenses. So the business has its own personal expenses, but it does not pay your personal expenses. That's one thing we need to understand. Is there anyone with a question on that? Sorry? Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is don't steal from your business. How do we steal from our business? Can someone share with us, just give us maybe an example of how we can steal from our business? Is it possible to steal from our own business? Oh. Benedict. Benedict, is it possible for us to steal from our business? Okay, Prosper. Okay, Benedict was about to speak. Sorry for that. Can you share with us what you feel? Is it possible for us to steal from our business?
Okay. Is it possible for what?
Is it possible for us to steal from our business?
To steal from our business?
Yes.
Yes, somehow it is possible. You can steal yourself whilst you are not sincere to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Prosper, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happens when, let's say, you have a product to buy which you've not planned for it. And since you have not planned for it, the money, you don't know where to pick it from. And I say, okay, fine, there's this money lying there. Let me use it. And then you don't know when to get that money to replace it. So at the end of the day, how to pay back becomes difficult. And you think, okay, this is my own business, so I can use it. Then the business will suffer.
Thank you so much. So many people do that. They bring their children to the business. Maybe it's a shop. And the children, they just go inside the shop, they take the candy, they take the sweets, and they just eat. And nobody pays for that. So the moment we do that, the moment we let ourselves take something from the business and eat, we are stealing from our business. It's just like any employee who takes things in the shelf and eats, and you might even fire that employee for doing that. So we should have the same kind of thinking, the same kind of mentality in our business, that whatever is for the business, it has to be paid for. So even if you want something from your business, you need to pay for that. So like here in Zimbabwe, oftentimes people like those who've got small shops, they buy bread. And bread usually from the supplier, they get the bread for 90 cents from the supplier. And they sell that bread for $1. So the profit they get from one loaf of bread is only 10 cents. So if you take a loaf and say, I'm going to eat for breakfast today, that means you have taken 10 loaves from your business. But when we don't consider that for me to make $1 in my business, I need to sell 10 loaves so that I can get $1. But you will easily take that one loaf and say, just give it to your child and go and cook it and go and have breakfast at home. So that's one thing we need to understand. Business is usually when we are selling things, maybe that we have bought from someone, we put a small markup on that business. And when we take that product that we have put in a small markup, you'd realize that we end up putting our business under, because it cannot recover. Because if I take 2 loaves a day, that means I've taken 20 loaves a day, and my business will not survive. Okay. Then the next thing that we want to look at is save regularly. I think I've emphasized this from the first unit, that we need to learn to save. So saving is very important in a business. We've learned from Maria that she had to use her savings money to help Mateo when Mateo had a problem. She did not use the money from the business, but she used the savings money. And this is what we should always do. We should use the money that we save when we have a challenge in the home. There's going to be illnesses in the home. There's going to be a lot of things that would happen that would require money. That money should not come from the business. It should come from our personal savings. So that's why we emphasize on the importance of personal savings. Because once we save, even if we've got a problem in the business, we will not burden the business, but we'll use our own personal saving. So his saving says, yes, saving money is delayed spending. People save money when the security and freedom of extra money is more important to them than the thrill of spending it. It is a way for you to achieve your goals and be prepared for a personal emergency. Saving money also buys you security. Having saving makes it possible to experience a downturn in your business without losing your entire business. There are many ways to save money. People save money by walking more, turning off lights, or sharing tools. So you'd find that there are so many ways that you can actually save money. I know some people here, instead of buying food from takeaways, they can actually carry food when they are going to work. They actually carry food that is cooked at home. That way you save money that you actually, because food from takeaway is more expensive than the food that we cook at home. So we need to find ways that we can learn to save money. So business is all about saving money. So we're going to finish by talking about making and following a personal budget. So this is a diagram. There's a diagram here I want us to share, and this talks about Malia. So the first thing we need to do is we need to plan. Then we need also to track, and then we need to compare. Okay, so we need to plan how you are going to spend your income at the beginning of the month. So once you get an income at the beginning of the month, you are going to plan how you are going to spend that money. So you do this before you even get your money. So assuming that you are going to get 2,000 at the end of the month, you plan using that figure of 2,000. So you need to break it down and finish it all. Then you need to track, once you get that money, you need to track how you have used that money and see whether you have used more in some areas and you have used less in some areas. Then you need to compare. When you are comparing your actual expenses to your planned budget at the end of the month. And continues to adjust. Okay, you need to continue to adjust your budget so that your money is finished. So here, I think you can see the diagram that shows Maria's budget for the month of April. Can we all see that? I hope I didn't move very fast. Okay, let me see if I can come back to that. So this is very, very important for us to understand. So do we see that? So this is Maria's budget. Can we all see that?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Jennifer. So Maria, she's actually planning her income is a salary that she pays herself at the end of the month. So she pays herself 2,000. So if there's any other kind of income that comes in, you can also add it below 2,000. So her income is from salary. So you need to tell us where you get your income. So in this case, she's saying salary, and some people may get their income from commission. So you need to tell us exactly where you get your money from. So this is the planning part. Okay, you see the planning part is the only part that is actually filled. So once you do that, you need to tell us your total income for that month. If there's any other categories that you got the money from, you can actually list them down. Then you tell us the total income that you got. But here, I want us for this course, I want us to just tell us whether it's a salary or it's a commission. You just tell us salary or commission, and you just tell us the total income. So if it's 2,000, if it's 200, you tell us the commission. So then you need to break it down. So in this case, Maria pays donations, which is 200. And so also she puts money on savings, which is 200. Also she pays rent, 500. Utilities is 80. Food she uses 450. Clothing she uses 50. And school she pays 200. And transportation she pays 50. Medical is 100. Insurance is 100. And entertainment is $70. So if you calculate this money, it should give you 2,000. So you should not have a situation where you get an income of 2,000 and in your planning, you tell us here it's 2,300. That means your planning is wrong. Or if you tell us here there is 2,000 and when you tell us your total expenses, when you are planning, you tell us it's 1,500. Then there's something wrong. with your planning. Let's just say, for example, I noticed we have Fiza Zifa, who just came with us right now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I know you came in late, but I'm going to ask you a question. I'm hoping you can help us. Let's say, in the case of Maria here, she got an income of 2,000, and in her budget, she puts the monies down, and at the end, she discovered that the money is only 1,800. What will she do with the 200? So she has planned for everything, but at the end, she discovers that the money is only 1,800. What do you think she should do with the 200? I don't know if you can hear, you can understand my question. Can you understand what I'm trying to say here? Jennifer?
Yes, please. I understand. You are saying that, so what if, okay.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I was trying to explain the question if I really understood whatever you said.
Yes, yes.
And then I will just hope.
So you are trying to say if her income was 2,000 and her expenses was 1,008, what
Yes.
happens to the profits, right?
What happens to the 200? Because she's planning for that month. She knows that she wants to buy clothes for this amount, for $50, and she has planned for these things. But then she discovers in her planning, there is a balance of $200. What is she supposed to do with the 200? That's my question.
Yeah, I understand your question, but the line was breaking. So from what you just said, I think the 200 should be invested back into the business. So in the next month, when preparing for the budget, she has to add, if her income is still 2,000, she has to add that 200 to the 2,000, making 2,200 as her income.
Okay. Anyone with a different answer? Anyone who thinks differently? Javed, do you think that's what?
Or better,
sorry?
Or better still, she can also reinvest it and then make back, into the business and then make back the
So
fund.
She puts more money into the business as an investment.
Yeah,
okay, let's say,
the 200
sister,
into the business.
let me ask you again this, Jennifer. You are working for your employer.
Okay.
And the employer gives you 2,000.
Yeah.
You get 2,000 and you are planning how you are going to spend the money for the month. Let's say we are in July right now. You are planning how you're going to spend the money for the month of July. And in your planning, you realize that there is a balance of $200. What do you do with the $200?
I'll save it.
Okay. So, okay, I think I asked it better when I asked about your employer. You don't want to give the money to your employer. Okay, so once there is an excess in the monies that you have actually, when you are planning, you see that there is a balance of money. You need to put it on savings. Why is it important to put it on the savings? Why do you think it's important to put your money on the savings? I don't see Anthony. Prosper.
Yeah, I didn't get the question well.
Oh, I was discussing with Jennifer here that she's working for an employer and she gets 2,000 for the month. And she's planning how to spend that money. And while she's planning, she discovers that all her plans all the monies that she wanted to use are already filled in. But still she's left with $200 that she is not planned for. I asked her what she should do. Then she said I should put it back on savings. So I asked the question, why is it important for you to put the money on savings?
As an employee or as a business owner?
as an employee.
Okay.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah, you are saving it for the future. Maybe there may be emergency that you can fall on it. Otherwise, your budget cannot support you for any emergency that will occur in the future.
That's very true. So you need, okay, Jennifer.
I also think you should save the money because when you are financially independent, it empowers you. It helps you have enough resource to support yourself and your family. And again, it helps you become financially secured, which will help you reduce anxiety and also help you with your long-term goals.
Yes, okay, so that's that's one of the most important things. We don't say that I've got more money, then I must spend it the way I want. No, you put it on savings. You should never feel that you've got more money if you are still alive, because there will come a time when you are going to need money and you don't have that money, and you will think of the money that you have actually recklessly spent. So when you realize that I made a budget this month and I managed to stay within my budget, you need to take that money that is extra and put it on savings. So savings will help you on a rainy day and things are not well. You can actually then go back to your savings. So for us, for this class, I want us to focus on the planning only. Don't worry about the actual. If you look at the other budgets where Maria was putting the actual figures, can you see that? Can you see that here?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Maria was putting the actual figures. So if you look at it, she said she planned for 2,000, but actually she got 2,000. Then she also got $20 when she sold the baskets. Okay, and if you look at the breakdown of it, okay, if you look at the utilities, she had planned to use $80, but she ended up using $97. And she had planned for $450 for food. She ended up using $422. She had planned for clothing, which was $50, but she ended up not using any money. And for school, it was the same thing. So if you are to make a budget and an actual, they should not be the same. Okay, there has to be a difference. You cannot have a plan and actual with the same kind of figures because you don't know what happens during the course of the month. Something might happen and might actually throw you off your budget. So, but you need to understand, once that happens, you should not, if you look at it, Maria she did not get any money from outside. She used all the money. Okay. She only used all the money that she had. At the end of the day, in actual, she used 1,999. So that's what you should also do. You should not look for money outside. Okay. So in this case, we learn that Maria's chicken business is making between 2,500 and 3,000 profit each month. So Maria pays herself a salary of 2,000 a month. This personal salary of 2,000 is Maria's income for the month. So before the month starts, Maria fills out the planned column of the budget and decides what she will buy. Maria's plan is not spend more than a 2,000 salary. And this is what we should also do. Our plan should be not to spend more than the income that we get. So when we get 500, we should plan to spend 500. We should not plan to spend more than what we earn. I don't know if there's any questions because we've come to the end of our discussion for the night. So these are the things that we have looked at. We've discussed that we need to separate business and our personal money. So we've also looked at pay yourself a salary or a commission. So we don't run a business without, okay, Japheth has got a question. I can see your hand is up.
Yes, sorry, I had network issues and I just came back recently, but I want to ask, looking at the budget in question that you presented to us
Yes.
some few seconds ago.
Yes.
Do you advise that if we are planning a budget, maybe on our expenses based on the income available,
yes,
we should have such budget? Because it looks like the income was 2,000, and what she budgeted, I didn't see a portion for savings, an item for saving in that budget, but it looks like she ended exactly like that. And the actual expenses ended up around 1,999.
Okay.
In case of emergency, it looks like she would have to go for loan or something.
All
In
right.
terms of sustainability, is it not? I'm just thinking.
All right. Okay. So look at this now.
Is this a good budget?
This is a very good budget, because if you look at it, we planned for donations, that is 200, and she had savings. Okay, do you see there's savings for 200 here? She had savings. So if anything goes wrong here, if you've got an emergency during the course of the month, that means you are going to probably reduce on your savings, or you are going to forego certain things. Like in this case, she had to forego entertainment. She had planned for $70 for entertainment. She didn't use anything. Why? Because she had to use $250 for medical. She had only planned for $100 for medical, but she ended up using $250. And because of that, she had to forego entertainment. She also had to go forego clothes. So she didn't buy any clothes, and she didn't go for entertainment, because that money she had to take it and use it for medical. So medical, that's an emergency, because you don't know when someone is going to get sick. So once you get a situation like there's a medical situation in the home, that means you have to use the money that is there. You have to take the money from your income and use that money for medical. But what it then means is that you are then going to forgo. Because even if you look at food, she was supposed to use 450 for food, but she ended up using 422. She had to reduce certain things in order for her to cover for the emergency that had risen during the course of the month, which was the emergency of medical. So if you look at that, so this is how you should plan your budget. So once you plan your budget, you need to plan with figures that are just realistic figures, but that can actually give you a guide on how you should do. But it doesn't mean that what you plan for is exactly what you are going to spend for. So you would find that in some instances, you end up spending more money. In some instances, you're going to spend less money than what you have planned for. I don't know if I have answered you.
Yes, but I have a follow-up question.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, yes, there's savings, as you said. So you are saying in terms of any emergency, she would have to fall on the savings.
Yes.
But we as humans, we know that always in life, there are unforeseen or unexpected events that happen.
Yes.
From as we move, we advances in days.
Sure.
And so whilst planning, you should be aware that definitely there will be some unforeseen events that will come up that may turn around things.
Okay.
I thought that the saving is for future use. You are saving for the future.
Sure.
And now you are preparing a budget with some money.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't you allow some room for those unforeseen emergencies? Should they pop up?
Yes. That's why I'm saying that you can act, because if you look at it, Maria had planned for entertainment. But if you look at entertainment, okay, Jennifer wants to say something before I go ahead. Jennifer, you can go ahead.
Yes, this is a perfect budget. Her income is 2,000 and other expenses also matched 199. And you were saying that what if any unexpected, eventuality happens? Here you've done your budget. You have your income and your expense. So if any other thing happens, that means at the end of the month, you had a deficit. Let's say you had to pay your mommy's bills, which was added up to the expenses. You have a deficit. What you came late. if you had come earlier, you realize that we had a story between Maria and then I think Romeo also. Let's say this is the
Yes,
guys.
in that story I was in.
Okay.
So let's say
I wasn't late. It
that,
was just network break. It's just network break that I went
All
out
right.
and came
Yeah, I
back.
saw you were
okay,
in. I
that's
saw
fine.
most of the time you were with us. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so
Go
let's
ahead,
say
Jennifer.
this was the guy's budget, and here lies the case where he has to pay his rent. So that means the rent has added up to his his expense. Let's say
Yes.
his rent was, let's say, 100 cedis a month, but
Yes.
maybe the next month the landlord is saying that I've increased your rent from 100 cedis to 120. It has automatically increased his expense. So that means he will lie. If he doesn't lie on his savings, let's say his savings is lesser than whatever he's expecting, he'll have to rely on someone else, like the way he relied on Maria. So that means at the end of the month, there will be a deficit. And what happens the next month? You have to consider a lot of factors in your expenses. Reducing, let's say if you buy clothes at 50 cedis, you have to now reduce it to 20 or 30 because you know there is a deficit you have to cover.
Mhm.
You get it? So putting in real life experiences here, this is paperwork, but we are trying to let you know that in anything you do, you have to, save. That is all what our supervisor is trying to tell us.
So it's just like
Yes,
even
I
if,
understand.
yes. Go
I
ahead.
understand as you said, but this we are learning must also translate to real life situations.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
is why I'm just seeking clarity from the supervisor because he
Sure.
understands it better than I do.
Sure.
So that's why we are just seeking clarity as to whether it is good you do that because I see in that budget there's something like other, but the person has not apportioned anything to the other.
Yes. Yes.
So that is why I am seeking clarity.
That's a good observation. So you can actually have, because while you are planning for the uncertainties. You are planning for things that might happen. So this is why it is important for you to plan, because things might not always happen the way you want them to happen. There could be some emergencies that could actually happen. So in this case, we can actually, taking your point into consideration, you might have Maria putting some money onto the other, so that when things happen, but now you need to understand how much money you are going to put on the other, because our money should not go beyond 2,000. Okay, because if you look at here, Maria has got some fixed costs. If you look at it, she has got medical insurance, she has got insurance. Insurance is a fixed cost, because if you've got a insurance policy, you've got a policy, they want their money every month. Okay, or else you default on that insurance. And if you look at also rent, you realize that rent is something that is a fixed cost that you have to pay every month. So if you are renting a shop, that means every month you are going to pay that rent. So while you are planning, you need to know that your plan should not go beyond 2,000. Okay, so your money should not go beyond 2,000. The reason I'm saying that, you might have a month where you fail to be able to save as much as 200 that you wanted to save. Why? Because there's a lot of uncertainties that happened during the course of the month. Because there are certain things that you cannot do without. If you look at it, you cannot do without food. You cannot do without the utilities. Okay. If you are going to school, you definitely need to pay the school fees that is needed. If you are traveling to work, to and from work, you are definitely going to need transportation. So you need money for transportation. But then if these things happen, but like what you are saying, I like your point very much, because what it does is that it gives you a leeway that if things don't go very well, maybe you've budgeted $200 on other, that $200 will then help you to fall on something if things don't happen the way you want, or maybe there's an emergency in the family, then you can actually go on and use that 200. But let's say the money goes beyond what you have actually planned for. That means Maria could say that instead of saving 200 this month, I'm going to save 100 this month, because she had planned for 200, but because there is an emergency, you get a child getting sick in the home, Maybe yourself, you get sick in the home and you have to be admitted into the hospital for some time, and you are supposed to pay the hospital bills, and they might go beyond what you have planned for. But at the same time, at home, you want to eat. At the same time, you are supposed to pay for rent, and you are supposed to pay for all those kind of things. So if the money goes beyond what you have planned, but what we are saying here is that you have to learn the principle of saving. Saving does not mean that you need to save a lot of money every month. You can save a small amount of money, but there will come a time when that money becomes very, very important. Okay, so you'll find that you might even end up taking from the savings that you have made before. Like in the case that Jennifer was talking about, in the case of Mateo and Maria. Maria had to take money from her savings and give it to Mateo so that she can assist. So your savings money, it can be used when there is an emergency. So you can actually take money from your savings when there is an emergency. What we are saying is that don't take money from your business when there is an emergency. An emergency will be covered by your savings money. So once your savings money grows and it becomes a lot of money, then you can actually be able to say, I want to buy something, I want to buy myself a car, and I want to do those kind of things. But we are saying that for your business to grow, you need to let it, like the goose that we have talked about, you need to let it lay an egg a day. And when it's laying an egg a day, it might come a time because maybe it has reached a certain stage of growth. It's now laying 2 eggs a day. So you don't need to force it to do things that it cannot do. Okay. You don't need to kill it and say, I want more from this. So we are saying that your savings, that's because for your business to flourish and to survive, it has to be independent from your personal monies. Because once you want money, you should not get the money from your business. You should get it from your personal savings. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes. Sorry, my last question.
Sure.
On donations.
Yes.
I thought that donation is something you give at will. You willingly give. You want to support, right?
Yes.
Now, looking at the budget, when Maria budgeted, she budgeted assuming that things will go as expected.
Sure.
But in the long run, she had to deny herself some other things in order that she was able to meet her budget. For example, clothing, she didn't buy any clothes. Entertainment, she didn't go. But I realized she maintained the amount she initially planned to donate, the 200.
Sure.
And I want to know, if you budget and along the line things don't go according to plan, don't you have that? Can't you reduce maybe the amount you plan to give on charity or whatever in order that you are able to meet your budget? Or once it was planned that I'm giving this amount on charity, it must be fixed.
Thank you. That's a wonderful question. I never thought about that, but that's a very beautiful question that you have just raised. But I don't know. There are certain religions that where you are supposed to pay what they call tithe. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Yes.
So that's a belief that they believe that if I pay tithe, the Lord will bless me. So that tithe is 10% of your income. So you are saying that for the Lord to bless me, I think if you look in the book of Malachi, I'm sure you are a Christian. I don't know if you're a Christian. But if you look in the book of Malachi,
I am a Christian.
Look in the book of Malachi, chapter 3. So Malachi, the Lord speaks through Malachi that bring all the tithes into my storehouse, and I will bless. He's promising you blessings because and those most of the Christians, those who believe in this principle, they believe that if I pay my 10%, the Lord will bless me for paying my 10%. If I don't pay my 10%, in fact, most of those people who believe, that's the first money they pay. I think if you notice, Maria is putting it on top of the list, meaning that for her belief, she believes that if I pay 10%, then all these other things will work well for me. But if I don't pay my 10%, then the Lord will not bless me. Okay, so I think if you look at it, 200 is 10% of 2,000. So she actually, I think that's the demonstration, that's the example they were trying to share with us. But it depends. Some religions, they don't pay it as 10%. They pay it as just a donation that they give. But in this case, in the case of Maria, so it depends on your beliefs. If you believe in that, then it's very important for you to put aside 10%. And that's why you will notice that for her, she actually followed that strictly, that it has to be 10%, not less, not more than 10%. So that's what I'm just trying to put across, that so in some religions, some beliefs, especially the Christians that I know, they believe that if I pay 10%, then the Lord will actually bless me for that month. So they even pay that 10% first before they even budget for their food and other things, because they believe that once they do that, then the Lord will guide them through the other things that they will be budgeting. So it depends on your belief and depends on your faith. So for some, it might not be even a factor, that donation, but for some, but as Interweave Solution, we only encourage you to help when you can help, that you can also be able to help the community that you live in, or if you can be able to help maybe the less privileged in your community. So it also starts with just very little that you start by giving, and it grows as you grow, your business grows, as maybe your income grows, you can also grow that kind of help that you would give. I don't know if I answered you.
Yes, it's very clear now. In fact, I'm sure that is the perfect answer.
Oh, thank you.
There's a reason why she spent like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'm okay now.
Okay. Anyone with another question before we close? Our time, I've taken too much of your time, and I apologize for that. All right, so this is what we have discussed today. Separate business and personal money. Pay yourself a salary or a commission. Don't steal from your business. Save regularly, and make and follow a personal budget. So these are things that I would want us to go and look for and do before we meet on Tuesday. I want us to commit that we will separate our personal and business money. So we want to make a commitment ourselves that we are going to separate your business and personal money. I know for some of us, this is very difficult. In the beginning, it looks very, very difficult. I had a difficult time also trying to separate my personal and my business money. But the more you understand this, and the more this actually gets into you, you would realize how important it is to separate your personal and your business money. And you keep I want you to also commit that I'll keep my business money in a separate bank account, PES or a piggy bank, than my personal money. And we've talked about not stealing from a business. So I need you to commit that you're not going to steal cash or inventory from your business. So that means that when you want to take something from your business, you pay for it using your salary or your commission. Okay, so you don't just take something from your business because you say it's my business. No, if you need something from your business, pay for it. Even if you've got someone who's working for you in your business, you go to that person and you pay the amount of money for whatever you want in your business, and you get it. If there's a receipt, you need to get the receipt for that, just like you would do in any other business which you feel is not yours. So I want us to understand this, that we need to treat our business just like any other business that we know of, that we feel is not ours. So if there is a need for a receipt, if there is need for anything that you might ask from another business, you need to get that from your business when you go and buy from your business, okay? So also you need to commit that you are either going to pay yourself your commission or you're going to pay yourself a salary from the profits that you get from your business. So you also need to continue to work on your home quality of life that will that we talked about in Unit 2. So you are going to commit that I will thoughtfully choose a priority area from my home quality of life plan and write down and take an action step to improve that area in my life. I don't know if you've got any questions, but if you do not have any questions, I'm just going to introduce Unit 5, which is, we're also going to talk about paperwork, but today we've talked about home budget, and on Tuesday, we're going to talk about paperwork for our business. Okay, the paperwork that is required in our business. We've looked at the paperwork that we require in our home, which is our budget, our personal budget, but we are also going to look at the business, our paperwork in terms of business. So in this, we are going to talk about keeping records. We are also going to talk about how to record the income and expenses at the point of sale. So we are also going to learn how to make an income and expense log. And we are also going to learn how to create an income statement. And lastly, we are going to avoid selling on credit. Okay, I will discuss that in detail, but do you have any questions before we close? Any questions before we close? It seems like you don't have any questions anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Prosper, you want to ask something?
Yeah, it's actually a proposal.
Sure.
Yeah, the project we'll be working on.
Yes.
Maybe if you can put it on the platform so that we start work on it.
Okay. So you're not on the platform yet?
I'm on the platform.
All right. So what I will do, let me see if when we meet on Monday, I will go to the platform. Then I will show you how to fill in the platform. Because what you need to do, you've got your portal where you have signed in. Then there is a platform within that portal where you go in, where there's assignments that you need to fill in. So those are the assignments that you are going to fill in as our project. This project, you're not going to do it at the end of the course, but you are going to do it as we go with the class. So remind me on Tuesday, then I'm going to discuss that in detail.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that.
Any other questions? The class is very exciting.
Sorry?
The class is very exciting.
Thank you so much for that, Prosper. Jennifer, do you have any questions?
No, please, I'm okay.
Oh, you're tired?
No, please.
Okay, so who wants to pray for us before we close? Jennifer, I know you opened with a prayer, so who wants to pray for us as we close? Zipha has been quiet, eh? Okay, who wants to pray for us as we close the meeting? Any volunteer?
Okay, let's pray. Let's pray. I will volunteer.
Thank you very much.
I pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Father, Lord, I thank you for how far you've brought us. I thank you for a successful discussion this day. We pray, committing each and everybody into your hands, that as we leave this meeting, whatever we learned, help us to commit into memory and put it into practical use so that we may be able to help our community and be the light of the world. We ask this and many more through your Son who lives and reigns with you through the unity of the Holy Spirit, one Lord, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. That's okay. Good night, everybody. Let's meet on Tuesday. I know it's now evening in Ghana. So thank you so much for coming, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
you. Please wait for the recording form. Some of us couldn't continue at some point.
Sure, I'm going to submit the recording once I've finished downloading it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.